Good afternoon. Welcome back to Top Shape. I'm Steve Basile, and we're going to continue with our little video series. And the topic yesterday was the mechanics of a repetition. Just by way of review, I spoke yesterday about 4 elements of repetition. First is the positive, the actual lifting part of the weight, where the weight is going up against gravity. The negative, where the weight is coming down with gravity. The peak point of contraction. The muscle contracts at the top of the positive, where the muscle is being squeezed, and the slow negative, where you have the peak point of the stretch at the top of the positive. The alignment for this movement was we're going to bring our elbows forward of the torso, lock down forcefully, and come up slow. Now, it's important to understand that when a muscle contracts, it exerts force against an object. So when a muscle is contracting, it is applying force against the object. Right here, the object is the bar, and we're lifting the weight. On the positive, the muscle is exerting force to lift the weight. On the negative, the muscle is exerting force to lower the weight against gravity from falling. Both positive and negative, we have force exerted and a contraction taking place. The shortening of the muscle on the positive, the lengthening of the muscle on the negative. It's important to remember that the negative part of the repetition does exert force against the object, which keeps it contracted. So you're stretching on the negative, you're stretching the muscle under stress. That's where most of the benefit comes. More than half of the benefit comes on the negative, while the muscle is under the stress of the object, force, the weight, and it's being pulled apart. Now that sounds a little bit archaic, and I want to explain that. The whole concept or idea of weight training is to tear muscle tissue down. It's actually applying controlled damage to the tissue. Very similar to an inoculation shot. When you get an inoculation shot, you're getting a small amount of the disease or bacteria for your body to build up an immunity to that bacteria. Well, the same with weight training. We're tearing down the tissue, micro tears in the muscle, so that when you go home and you rest on your days off, and through good nutrition and rest, your body is building up an immunity by making the muscle bigger and stronger. So it's this controlled stress that we want to focus on, and we're getting the most of that stress out of the negative part of the repetition. When the muscle is stretching under the stress of the weight during the negative is when you get the most benefit out of the movement, because you're doing the most amount of damage during that part of the movement. I hope this was helpful, and tomorrow we will be back with more helpful tips on exercise and fitness. Thank you.